What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday, August 9th, 2024. Forgot the damn date again. Son of a bee sting. Let's fix this lighting. There we go. Good enough. Good as it's going to get, right? All right. Well, welcome in. Hello. We are up and running. It's a Friday, almost the weekend. A couple weeks till these garbage week 0 games come up, but just a few Saturdays till Buckeye football. And today we're going to talk about the depth chart, really. I'm going to run through every single position group, and I'm going to give you my top 2, 3, sometimes 4 in some cases, at least top 2. And I welcome you guys to pop in the chat, give me your questions and comments, and we'll do it. Fans of other teams, you are welcome here, but do be aware that you might get banned if you start talking stupid. I keep a close eye on that, and I don't mind banning whether it's Oregon fans, cheater fans, doesn't matter, but you're welcome to join. Just, keep it above the belt. Over, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get into it here. So I just learned a little bit ago that James Peoples, the running back, and defensive end Edric Houston lost their black stripes today. So that points to one thing for me, that these guys are going to play, and they're going to play this season. They're going to play early. So if that wasn't obvious before, I was concerned about them playing very early on, but these guys have been on campus since January. So it's just a matter of, can they make it through a really long season? They've never played this many games before. So anyway, James Peoples, Edric Houston, officially Buckeyes today. The other day, Jalen McClain lost his stripe. So the safety out of New Jersey, I like his game. He loves getting his hands on some balls, and who doesn't, right? So that is the saying of the day. I was going to ask you guys a question. Let me see if I got a good question for you. Let's see. We did all the team win totals, how about, let's go team win total for the Buckeyes. I'm going to make the number 11.5. Over under 11.5, regular season only. Please drop your opinion in the chat. Over or under, thumbs up, thumbs down, up, down, whatever. You know how to communicate. The actual Vegas number is 10.5, but I'm making the line 11.5. It's either a perfect season or one loss and you lose it all. So let me know which way you guys are leaning. So let's start off with the quarterback, most important position on the field, right? Let's get into our depth chart here. So I think from everything we've been hearing, Ryan Day's kind of tipped his hand a little bit, in my opinion, in how he keeps talking about Will Howard. And I'm not really listening to the beat writers, because they're the last people that are going to tell me if a quarterback looks good or not in practice. I am not going to listen to them, but I will listen to like facts and figures and data that they spit out, like Will Howard had this many incompletions or threw this many touchdowns, converted 7-on-7 to a touchdown, whatever. I'm going Will Howard. I think I've talked about this a lot, but I don't mind repeating myself in this case. Will Howard has the experience. He's not your dual threat quarterback, but he has that experience to slide around in the pocket. Like Ryan Day said on Thursday in his press conference, he compared him to like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was not a scrambler, not a runner. He was not an athlete that's looking to take off when things got a little hot and heavy in the pocket. But he would slide around, just find that little opening for a minute when he had somebody in his face, just to buy enough time to deliver the ball to an open receiver. That's Will Howard. That's what he's got. That's like his trait, his special trait. And he obviously he's got some long speed. He broke off a 70-yarder the other day in practice. I mean, the guy's not going to shake anybody out of their boots, but you give him an alley and he'll take it to the house. We also saw that at K-State. So Will Howard is your starting quarterback, QB1, to be announced, I would guess Monday, probably. I think Ryan Day has another press conference on Monday. So if not, Ryan Day's next availability to the media, he'll announce it. That's my prediction. They got a big scrimmage on Saturday, tomorrow. So I will be interested to see if we get any rumors out of that. Usually it's kind of fuzzy, nothing real concrete. So since the media is not going to be there, but Will Howard, QB1, Devin Brown, your QB2. Devin has the most experience in the offense. Lincoln Keenholz has only been on campus for just over a year, about 14 months. So I'm not sure he's as comfortable in the offense yet as he needs to be to lead this team if Howard were to go down. So I go Devin Brown, his extra experience. Now Devin does have his negative points too. He's not great accuracy wise on intermediate passes. He throws a beautiful deep ball, is accurate with it, but his intermediate stuff, 10 to 20 yards, he's not as accurate there. We see that with some big arm quarterbacks that can throw it a country mile, but they can't hit a dude 10 yards away, or they don't have the touch. But anyways, Devin is your QB2. He does bring the mobility as well. So that's a weapon you can use. And then my QB3, I got Julian Sayin. I think he might be on the verge of passing Keenholz by the time fall camp is over. Nothing against Lincoln, obviously. I'm pulling for everybody, but I think Julian Sayin might take over QB3 duties. So those are my top three. And then Keenholz and Aaron Nolan behind them. Aaron Nolan's not going to get enough snaps to really. I see some highlight clips from practice and stuff, but he's getting the least amount of snaps of everybody on the team at the quarterback. So let's go to running back now. I got Trey. Trey's a year older than Quinshawn, so I'm going Trey Henderson. He is your RB1. Quinshawn Judkins is obviously your RB2, but I mean, it's like 1A and 1B here. These guys are going to get virtually the same number of snaps, same number of carries, touches. They're going to get receptions out of the backfield. Ryan Day has talked about that. So they will be active in all aspects of the offense. So if I got Trey, then Quinshawn, I'm going James Peoples, RB3, just lost his black stripe. So I think that's an easy one. He looks like a college running back right now. He's got some big ass legs. He must be squatting like 600 pounds or something nuts. So James Peoples, he's got the mindset and the body. So again, you do get concerned about a long 16-game season possibly with some of these true freshmen, but you got to space out their reps and maybe not give them a hefty workload game in and game out. Then, of course, you got Sam Williams-Dixon. He is my fourth running back. He's a weapon in that he's something you can use in the throw game. You can use him in the passing game. So he's a weapon there, but he's put on some size. He does have some poundage on him. He's got the strength. So that's good. So he's really come on from spring to fall camp. That's good. And there is a walk-on freshman running back, Rashid Cisse. He was a former Mr. Ohio football finalist. So he's a walk-on. He would be your fifth guy if we had to go that route. I don't believe the downs to running back stories. I know Ryan Day said it. I don't believe Caleb Downs is going to play running back. Anyway, moving on. Wide receivers, let's go there. This one's pretty easy, right? I mean, there's not a lot of argument to be had. Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, your outside receivers. Meke Egbuka start off in the slot. Then behind those guys, I got Jaden Ballard coming into his fourth year at the outside. David Adolph, newly minted scholarship owner. David Adolph, he's another outside receiver. So you got Ballard and Adolph will be backing up Tate and Jeremiah. And then Brandon Ennis, I believe he will be your fourth receiver in if they move Emeka around, if they take Tate off the field, move Emeka outside, Ennis comes into the slot, something like that. So those are your six. I got it at wide receiver. I haven't seen anything out of Kojo Antwi that tells me he's going to make a move going into his third year. And Bryson Rogers, I think he's behind Brandon Ennis at the slot. And Mylan Graham, I've seen a few clips of him. Yeah, he looks good, but again, he's very, very young. Just got on campus a month ago. Same with Demarion Witten. So he's practicing with the receivers, but yeah, those two guys I think they're too young to consider even putting on the field, at least until, I don't know, week 8, 9, 10, late in the season. That's the earliest. And by then, I don't know, you'd have to have some serious injuries at the wide receiver position to have to go that deep into your bench. Moving on to tight end. I got G. Scott as the starter and Will Kazmarek backup, or if they go to 12 personnel with double tights, it'll be G and Will Kazmarek. And then I got Jelani, number 3, coming in. Ryan Day talked about him yesterday. He said he just needs to be consistent. I mean, this is not new information, right? Whenever there's a guy that looks talented as hell, comes in highly touted, has all the measurables, 6'6", 260 or whatever, the reason they're not getting on the field is consistency, whether it's knowing the playbook, showing up on time, taking care of your off the field things. You got to be consistent with everything. And these coaches are watching everything. So offensive line, I'll go from left tackle to right tackle. Left tackle, Josh Simmons. Left guard, Donovan Jackson. Center, Seth McLaughlin, the Irishman. Right guard, I got Tegra Shabola in at right guard. It's his third year. I think he's done enough to get on the field. He's lost weight, still has the quick feet. So he's in great shape. He's big for a guard. He's like freaking 6'5", but we'll take it. And then right tackle, Josh Fryer, of course. He was an Iron Buckeye. So backing them up is where things get a little hairy. I got George Fitzpatrick behind Josh Simmons at left tackle. I got Austin Saraveld, the second-year guy, at left guard behind Donovan Jackson. At center, Carson Hinsman will back up Seth McLaughlin. At right guard behind Tegra, I got a Carson Hinsman / Luke Montgomery situation there. I know Hinsman is supposed to be battling for that right guard job. They've had some weird flu virus or something going through the offensive line group, and so a lot of them haven't practiced, especially on Thursday. Some of them missed some time, but I got Hinsman or Luke Montgomery at that right guard. I'm not completely out on Hinsman. I know I've talked negatively about him for the last 8 months, 9 months, whatever, because he was not ready, and he admitted back in spring he was not mentally or physically ready to play in 2023, and it showed. So that's your right guard. Zen Mahalski at right tackle. I got him backing up Fryer. So that's your 2 deep across the front of the O-line. Switching over to the defensive side of the ball, a lot of these are going to be very simple and straightforward, I think. I got Jack and JT at your DNs. Behind them, you got Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry. And then behind those guys, I got Mitchell Melton and Edric Houston. Now, I could see a situation where Mitchell Melton gets on the field in a Rushman package where they go with like three DNs, one lined up like right over the center. A lot of the players on, say that Mitchell Melton is the best pass rusher, just pure pass rusher. He's got all the moves in his toolbox. So I think you get on, let him get in there on third and longs, let him feast. So, and Edric Houston, the strong side DN, he's definitely going to play. Obviously, losing your black stripe early in fall camp points to that. So, yeah, that's your kind of three deep at both end positions. Now, defensive tackle, another one, starters are straightforward. Tyleik Williams, Ty Hamilton. Those are your starting D tackles. And then behind them, I got Hero Canoe. He's going into his third year. And Caden McDonald, second year guy. He got some run at kind of a fullback position in the bowl game against Missouri. I'm looking for Caden McDonald to make a huge leap this season and be your, if Hero is your third man in, Caden would be your fourth. And behind them, I got Jason Moore. He's had some moments here and there in spring and in fall camp so far, but he just hasn't shown the consistency to move up the ladder, And then I think Taiwan Malone, I think he finally, he's going into his, fourth year, I think. Ty Malone. He's a 2021 guy. He did redshirt. So, yeah, he does have one more year. So I think Taiwan Malone, finally, he's done with baseball. He had a full year, almost 2 years actually, of conditioning and being football only focused. I think that's going to pay off. But again, he's like third in the pecking order behind, actually sixth, But all right, linebackers. Cody Simon starting at your mic. Then Sonny Styles. He looks like he's going to be the starter at the will spot. Behind them, you got Gabe Powers at the mic behind Cody, and then CJ Hicks behind Sonny Styles. Now, there will be some times when they play three linebackers. Sonny will probably move over to Sam or CJ, one of them. I would imagine Sonny moves to Sam. CJ comes in for Sonny at will. When you think about that, you got to match the package that the offense has on the field for the other team. So if they come in with a heavy jumbo set, you got to bring in extra linebackers. So I think you're going to see plenty of CJ Hicks, especially on third down. They're going to use him to blitz, but you can't blitz every time you bring in CJ Hicks. That tips your hand as a defensive, coordinator. So I expect to see CJ on third and long passing situations, but still I got starting Cody and Sonny, and then Gabe and CJ backing them up. And behind them, Arvell Reese has been working at the mic as well this fall. So that's interesting to me. And Peyton Pierce, he's been working at multiple positions at linebackers. So James Laurinaitis had a lot of positive things to say about Peyton Pierce after the dude missed the entire spring ball with the foot he was recovering from. So good things all around in the linebacker room. And Laurinaitis said he would play as many as he feel are ready. If he has 6, great, he'll play 6. If he has just 3, then he's only going to play 3. Guys have to be ready. Moving to corner, Denzel Burke, Davison Igbinosun are your starters at the outside. Jordan Hancock at the slot. Pretty straightforward there. Not a lot of argument, I don't think. And then we got Jermaine Matthews, Calvin Simpson Hunt at the outside corners, backing up Denzel and IGB. Lorenzo Styles, I got behind Jordan Hancock. The thing with Styles that kind of sucks for him is he's going into his last year of eligibility, isn't he? One, two. Oh, you might have one more. He has one more after this. Okay. I thought he was, I forgot he redshirted Lorenzo. So does have one more year. Everybody can relax. Um, but he's going to be at your slot behind Jordan Hancock. And then at my other outside corner, I got Aaron Scott. He can play outside easily. And he's got the size, length, strength, all that stuff. At the safety position, obviously Caleb Downs, Lathan Ransom, Caleb at your free safety, Ransom at your boundary, bandit, strong safety, whatever you want to call it. Then behind them, I got Malik Hartford and Jaden Bonsu. Bonsu I would have at the strong safety behind Ransom, and Hartford behind Caleb Downs. Behind those guys, I'm interested to see what Keenan Nelson, the transfer from South Carolina, what he looks like. Is he comfortable in the defense yet? Defense yet is the question. And then, of course, the true freshman Jalen McLean, who just got his black stripe off. I think he has to factor in there somewhere. But again, not in the too deep. I did want to touch on the punters because we never talk punters, and there's, nobody talks punters. Why would we? So Nick McLarty, he's the 6'7", 255-pound freshman from Australia, mate. He's still pretty raw. He's lacking the consistency in the longer downfield kicks. When he connects, it's beautiful, but his inconsistency means he's probably not ready to push for the starting job yet. Again, it's his first year in America, kicking American balls, and getting used to that toilet flush in the clockwise direction instead of counterclockwise. I'm sure that's blowing his mind still. Anyway, the other punters we have, Buffalo transfer Anthony Veneri and second-year Australian Joe McGuire. You got to have two Australians on your team. It's good luck. That's what I hear. So neither of these guys has the raw power of McLarty. They are consistent, though. Thursday, McGuire dropped a few punts inside the 5-yard line from the 50. So respectable. That's what you need. You need accuracy more than anything. And first team gunners on the punt were Calvin Simpson Hunt and Davison Igbinosun. So want your fast guys out there for sure, down in those punts inside the 5. Going back to Thursday's practice again with the O-line, Josh Simmons, Carson Hinsman, and George Fitzpatrick were all out sick. And then Zen Mahalski, Deontay Armstrong eventually left practice after feeling ill. You be illin'. So they were down to only 10 scholarship O-linemen. So things got a little dicey there for the offense. Aaron Nolan, looks like things are slowing down a little bit for him. And there is a scrimmage tomorrow in the stadium. And again, I think Howard is named QB1 next week at Ryan Day's next availability. So let's get into the chat and see what's going on. Looks like we got a busy day here. Okay, let's get into it. Billy is the first one in. What's up, Billy? Good to see you. 22 days. Yes, sir. Steven says, what's up, Billy? Steven says, really only 22 days. I can't wait. That's right. Billy says, will our D outscore Akron? Oh, that's a good question. I like that. Will the Buckeye defense put up more points than the Akron offense? I could see that. I could see an easy pick 6. I could see an easy scoop and score, maybe a strip sack, scoop and score kind of situation. Yeah, I'm with you, Billy. I could see that. I do want the shutout, though, just to be clear. I'm a huge shutout guy. Billy says, if Will Howard and the O-line play like they're projecting so far this camp, we could have an all-time great team. I agree. And Will Howard, like he said it himself the other day in interviews, he does not have to be a superhero. He just needs to, again, I know Ryan Day say this all the time, make the routine plays routinely, you know, and don't take those sacks. Don't take the intentional groundings, don't take 17-step drops. You know what I'm saying? We remember. Odysseus, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, Odysseus says he agrees. Top O to go with top D, and it's going to be 16-0. I like it. Billy agrees with that. Kevin Chavis, pause. All right. Steven says, with our depth, yes, here we go. I agree. This is a super deep team, man. Super deep. And quality depth, too, Steve today. All right. Back to the chat here. Odysseus says over 11.5 for the Buckeyes. So you're predicting a 12-0 season. Steven says over. Okay. Jeremiah over 11. Okay. Jeremiah coming in strong. Billy says over. Kevin says 12-0 or 11-1. Yeah, that's the point of the question, Kevin. Kevin says worst case 2 losses, but don't see that. Yeah, I don't see that either at all. Billy says Oregon in Eugene will be our only real stress. I'm kind of I'm wondering if that's going to be our only loss of the season, honestly. I got a huge question mark on that game. Huge question mark. Back to the chat. Odysseus says if Will Howard is over 20 miles per hour, then watch out. That'll fix our run game. He definitely adds another dimension. When you got 2 of the best running backs in the country, plus the quarterback is a run threat, those RPOs really change the game, man. And yeah, you just running regular option plays, read option, stuff like that. That completely changes the game. We haven't really had that quarterback that can stress the defense on his feet in a few years, actually. Going back to Justin, I thought it was very interesting yesterday that Ryan Day talked about. They basically told Justin Fields in 2019, do not run, because he would take off every time there's a little bit of heat in the backfield. He would take off and just run with the ball. I mean, he's fast enough, that was easy for him. They wanted him to keep the play alive by moving around within the pocket, and waiting for somebody to come open. Same with CJ. CJ did that. He was not a willing runner, Remember, he's like, I play quarterback. I'm not a running back. It's one of the funniest lines ever. But anyway, that was the problem last year. Honda McCord had no awareness in the pocket, 0. He couldn't move his feet. He's wearing concrete shoes, just sat there, or he would drop back 17 yards and whip it into the ground for a penalty, Back to the chat here. Odysseus, I did want to say, I'm kind of shocked that Will Howard was over 20 miles per hour. That's blazing. That's blazing. Steven says, I heard he hit 22. Yeah. I'm not sure those are accurate, but yeah, at least he's got that long speed again. He'll take it the distance if you give him an alley. Odysseus says we could gash teams running the triple option. We could. Exactly. Yeah, that'd be a beautiful thing to watch. I do look forward to some of these 2-back sets with Quinshawn and Trey in the backfield, on either side of Will Howard in the shotgun. I don't know how you defend that. He can pitch it out wide, right or left. He could run a dive, run a power dive, right up the A gap. You could do so many things. You could run an option, stretch it out. So many things, man. It's crazy. Billy says the talk about Howard's leadership seems unanimous among the rest of the team. I agree, Billy. I listened for that too. Even the defenders, the DBs were talking about it today. Denzel and those guys were talking about Will Howard's leadership. The receivers were talking about it. So I think this is all but a done deal. Almost a done deal. Just a matter of Ryan Day, making the call, making it public anyway. Kevin says, actually, he lost around 10 pounds. Yeah, at least 10. I think it was 10 to 15. And Will Howard looks more chiseled, he looked a little hefty in the face when he first came in, kind of a Ben Roethlisberger face. But Billy says, will we see a 22 personnel out there? I think so. Yeah, very much so. I think you'll see 21. 2 running backs, 1 tight end. I think you're going to see 22. In the 21 set, you could have a running back lineup at a slot receiver position, see what the defense brings out. If they bring a slot corner out, a nickel, then you move the running back into the backfield and run a run play. Take advantage of a lighter box, But yeah, I agree 100%, Billy. You're going to see some 22. Full-blooded Buckeye, what's up? Good to see you, full-blooded Buckeye. Let's go Buckeyes. Odysseus says, I'd wager some of the time, Billy. Depends on Bailey get those tight ends blocking. That's it, Odysseus. This year it's gonna be interesting to see how these tight ends developed. We're gonna see it this season, and that's on Keenan Bailey. I don't have a problem banging on the coaches. They get paid good money, to do a job, develop players, all that, besides the recruiting aspect. And if Keenan Bailey has developed these tight ends, we should see successful G. Scott season, a successful Will Kazmarek season, and we should see a Jelani Thurman getting in there as well. And hell, maybe even Bennett Christian. I don't know. The freshman, I can pump the brakes on the freshman for now. But this is on Keenan Bailey and his development. Billy says, could be an interesting wrinkle along with an empty backfield. Yeah, I would take 4 wides, 4 or 5 wides, however you want to do it. Get the tight ends and the running backs off the field entirely. That sounds like a nightmare for the secondary. But yeah. Kevin says OSU's O-line now has good experience playing together, and along with Chip Kelly's blocking schemes, the O-line should be at least a top 10 unit in the nation. I agree with you, Kevin. No doubt about it. They should be. They definitely should be. Although it always depends on how successful that running game is, that matters. That's the key right there. If they feel like they're stuck in neutral, can't get this running game going for whatever reason, against some of these good teams. Iowa is probably going to be the first real challenger of this offense. So that's the week before Oregon. So that's going to be interesting to see, can we run the ball successfully against Iowa? That will make me feel a lot better going to Eugene. Billy says, love to see get on the field. Mitchell Melton, yes, I agree. And again, they say he's the best pure pass rusher on the team. He's got all the moves, so let's use it, get him out there in the rush men with 3 DNs and cut him loose. Kevin says best defense in the nation, top 3 at worst. I agree. They're top 5 in most categories. Where we really want to see that increase is the other categories like sacks, TFLs. They were great in scoring last year, tops in the country, pass defense. They were in the top 20 or 30 against the run. So that needs to improve. But got to get those sacks and TFLs, and turnovers too. Don't forget about that. Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. Top three at worst. Odysseus says D tackle is loaded. It is freaking loaded, man. We haven't seen a lot of these guys on the field for meaningful reps, like Hero Canoe has not played a ton. Waiting for Jason Moore. Maybe he's going to get in there. I think Caden McDonald is the one I'm watching, just because he played so much last year and even got in on offense. So Steven says best ever possibilities. Yeah, and across the board. There's a ton of talent on the bench on this defense. A ton. Sage, what's up, Sage? Hello to you. Odysseus says we could rotate 6 to 7 guys on the D tackle positions. Yeah, I would feel good about that, especially early on. You always have to do that when you got these garbage games, these crappy non-con games, when it's still hot outside, early September, actually late August is week one, the end of August is week one. Then even early September, the first 3 weeks, it's going to be hot as shit most days on Saturday afternoon. So get those guys out of there, man. We've seen enough from, Tyleek and Ty Hamilton. They don't need to prove anything to us. Get them out of there after the first quarter, get some Gatorade, have a hot dog, whatever. Get those young guys in there. Kevin says, want to see Sonny and CJ Hicks on the field together at times? Yeah, you will, definitely. CJ Hicks, from all indications, it sounds like they're going to use him as a blitzer. That's when he is the best. And that's when he feels most confident. He talked about in his interview the other day. He feels most confident coming off the edge like he did in high school, getting after the quarterback. That's when he feels like he is at his best. And the other thing is he doesn't think, he doesn't need to stop and think, just trigger and go. That's what Laurinaitis was talking about. Just take the thinking out of the equation. Don't worry about being wrong. Just trigger and go. At least do it. If you're going to be wrong, do it fast, right? You hear a lot of coaches say that on defense. Back to the chat. Billy agrees with Kevin. Yeah, the 3 linebacker set, you're going to see that because you have to match personnel, and there are going to be teams coming out running the ball with double tight ends, and we're going to have to bring a 3rd linebacker, So you're going to see Cody in the middle, flanked by CJ and Sonny on each side. Yeah. Full-blooded Buckeye says Burke is future Thorpe Award winner. I agree. I think this is his year. He knows it's a contract year. He wants to be the top corner taken off the board in the NFL draft. I think he can do it. I feel he can. He's got the swagger. He's got everything you want, all the tools. 4th year at the position, starting for 4 years. So let's see it. Can't wait to see it. Billy says Arvell might be our starting Mike next season. Well, do you think he's going to jump Gabe Powers in that depth chart? Gabe Powers is going into his 3rd year this year. So that would be interesting. I like Arvell, though. I agree. He could. No doubt about it. Kevin says Burke or Downs could win the Thorpe Award. Yeah, I have no problem with that. We'll see. A lot of times, don't they go to a cornerback for that job, for that award? I thought it was usually a corner over a safety, but Downs is going to be just as good, no doubt about it. Steven says Gabe Powers will be tough to beat Billy. I agree, Steven. That's what I'm saying. No doubt about it. Full-blooded Buckeye says, yeah, Downs too. I should have included him too. Yeah, it's all right. There's no wrong answers. I tell you, man, Jordan Hancock does not get enough love sometimes. He's really good, man. And not just at covering a slot receiver, but coming up and smacking somebody in the run. He comes off the edge there with a little blitz action. He is tough, man. He is tough as shit. And he's not tiny. He's like 6'1", 190, 195, something like that. I like Jordan Hancock's game. And shit, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those DBs. IGB, he's a tough son of a bitch too. He's gonna tell you about it too when he knocks you out. Uh, and he's great in run support. Not afraid to mix it up with a running back or somebody bigger than him. Billy says, just heard Arvell is an athletic freak and he's picking up on calling the D. Yeah, he is. He is an athletic freak. Cleveland Glenville pipeline is wide open. High quality dudes matriculating down the pipeline to Columbus. Love to see it. Love to see it. And Arvell looks mean, man. That dude looks like he just has that scowl on his face all the time, man. It's awesome. Even when he's smiling. Sage says, I see definitely a pick six every game. Wow. Sign me up for that. That would definitely increase those turnover numbers nicely for the Buckeyes this year. Hey, folks, thanks for coming in. Please hit the like button. We're going to keep this train rolling, but just wanted a little reminder and make sure you're subscribed. And we will be back Friday night, me, Jeff, and Sean, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here, YouTube Live. So lock it in. But we're going to keep the chat rolling here. Oh, Kevin says, how many shutouts do you think we have? Points per game given up. Well, me and Billy have talked about points per game, and I think we agreed on about a 9.6, somewhere in that ballpark per game. And shutouts, I think I had 4 or 5 on the season. Let me pull up that schedule real quick. We'll walk through it together. Take a little walk. Akron, yes. Western Michigan, yes. Marshall, yes. Michigan State, possibly. Iowa, their defense might. Their defense might help them out a little bit. Scratch Iowa, not Oregon, probably not Nebraska, not Penn State, probably not Purdue. Northwestern, possibility. Indiana, probably not. Cheaters, probably not. So yeah, I go Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall. Coin flip on Michigan State for 4 and Northwestern for 5. So 4 or 5. Yeah. I think that's what I had the first go around. Let's see. Steven says under 8 points per game. Kevin says at least 1 or 2 shutouts. Billy says 4 shutouts. Christopher, what's up, Christopher? Good to see you. Hello to you. You look lovely this evening. Did you bring any bourbon? Anyway, Odysseus says, hope Fresno State wins on August 31st with the cheaters naming Pocket, Glizzy, and honorary captain. These guys are just going full asshole mode right now, right? The cheaters. I mean, these guys just are throwing everything at us, right? I mean, this is a freaking joke, isn't it? You guys have to be kidding. When's the statue unveiled? Week 6? Maybe they'll save it. I don't know who comes to town, Oregon or somebody. The Harbaugh statue. It's under construction right now. Dirty bastards. But yeah, I agree with you, Odysseus. We will be cheering for the Bulldogs of Fresno State. It is the Bulldogs, right? Something like that. Yeah, Harbaugh is honorary captain week 1 for the cheaters. Killing me, Whitey. Kevin says 4. That's bold. No team has done that. Excuse me. Wow. In a very long time. I've seen 3 recently by teams like Bama and Georgia. Yeah, I think I did a whole episode of the Daily Buckeye Blitz on the shutouts. I have to go back and check the archives. Christopher says, I love how physical and competitive the practice has been. I agree with you there, Christopher. Looks good. Billy says, okay, Kevin, 3. Billy, you're caving in. You're folding up like a cheap suit. Stick with it. Ride with me, Billy. We're going 4, over under 4.5. Christopher says, looks like Fry will miss out on Petty and Sanders and have 2 commits out of 29 offers he has to go after this season. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys if you have recruiting fatigue yet, or just David Sanders fatigue. Yeah. If Petty is going to Georgia Tech, though, I don't think Ohio State was ever in the running. And I mean, yeah, they kept the conversation lines open with Petty. I don't think he was ever a realistic possibility. Hell, I had him going to Florida State a couple of weeks ago. So if he stays home, he's from Georgia. If he wants to stay home, I mean, Georgia Tech's a good freaking school. I got a friend that has a degree, an engineering degree from Georgia Tech. He's a nuclear physicist, for Christ's sake. Nuclear engineer, whatever. I don't care. So, yeah, I can understand if you want to get a good education. The Buckeyes are not going to offer that of that caliber. Ohio State is a good educational, facility or institution, but it's not a Georgia Tech. It's, Kevin says could have 4 though. The schedule doesn't have many offensive powers. No. I have some offensive powers, but not the kind you're talking about. No, those first 3 games, I mean, I don't know how those teams hang with us. And Michigan State rebuilding, like massive rebuild. I know that they brought in Aiden Childs from Oregon State. He followed Jonathan Smith over, but it's not enough, man. They got no weapons. They got no running backs, no receivers, nothing. And their defense just got trashed. The safety Mangum went to the Cheaters. The D tackle Harmon, he went to Oregon, and they just got fleeced. There's nothing left there. Northwestern, that's going to be a weird game in Wrigley Field. I'm not for it. For the record, I don't know if anybody's with me. Get these games out of baseball stadiums. There is another big football stadium in Chicago, I think, right? Jeez, that's another tangent we don't need to go down. Back to the chat. Yeah, Kevin, 4. I think 4 is respectable. 4 shutouts. That's why I put the number at 4.5, over under. Billy says, if Fresno beats the team up north, I'll go to church again. When did you stop going, Billy? Steven, Sanders is a no, question mark. I don't think that's official. I don't believe that. Sage says, not saying MSU will be a loss, but going on the road for the first time will be a test of the team. That's a fair point. I get you. That first road game is week 4 at Michigan State. Yeah, I understand. I agree. It'll be a little bit of a test, but that Michigan State team is picked over, man. Christopher says Wilt Fong just crystal balled David Sanders to Tennessee today. Yeah, Wilt Fong has been wrong a lot lately too. Billy, let's not bring up Fry. It has to be such a positive show. It has been such a positive show. Yeah, Billy, I was waiting for you to chime in on that. We went a little longer than I thought you would. So she said. Odysseus says Wilt Fong can easily change his pick an hour before Sanders announces and claim an accurate prediction like he always does. That's it. You nailed it, Odysseus. Wilt Fong just, we've talked about this. I'm not down with the way he does his predictions. Uh, his is not a prediction. It's more of who has the momentum right now. That's how he updates his picks. So, like a kid coming off a visit weekend, for example, is probably really high on that team he just visited. So Wiltfong will switch his pick to that team. It's like, dude, fucking pardon my French, but signing day and his kid's commitment day is way off. A million things could change between now and then. But anyway, that's the way he does it. And that's why I stopped putting a lot of faith in Wilt Fong, especially since he went to On3. On3 is trash. Christopher says, yeah, but it's still a week away from his commitment. Exactly, Christopher. I agree 100%. That's a lifetime. We do have a commitment coming up tomorrow. You guys might not be aware of August 10th. Messiah Delhomme, safety from Virginia. I almost said some bad word. From Warwick High School. Yes, the Warwick High School. He will be committing. Not sure he's looking at the Buckeyes or if the Buckeyes are looking at him. He's still recovering from a leg injury. He's looking at Maryland, Virginia, Va-Tech. So we'll see. Don't have a strong inclination there any direction. Billy says Wiltfong only flips in the last hour when it's away from the Buckeyes. That seems to happen a lot, Billy. Odysseus, wasn't the Fong wrong on Edric Houston? He was, I believe. Christopher says, no, he talks to the recruits and then tells them he won't say nothing and then makes the prediction and ruins the kid's day. He's not the only one that does that. We've seen multiple of these recruiting honks do that crap. Good one, though. Billy says, I thought EH was ours for a long time. Like somebody just hit the freaking building. I'm right next to a golf course, like about 20 yards away from my window is a cart path. Like some jackwagon just hit the fucking building. Sorry. I've been trying to cut down on my F-bombs. Today's not the day. Picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. Anyway, Christopher says, yeah, but the thing is, Sanders shared Wiltfong's prediction on his Instagram and said, OE. I don't know. Does that mean anything? Odysseus says, well, Fry better develop this year. Good point. Christopher says, but I have also heard that Sanders' family is keeping it really quiet. They are. They're very tight-lipped, Billy says, Petty projected to Georgia Tech. Yes, he is. Christopher says, I agree, but I still think Day needs to let him go and hire a better recruiter. Well, now that the analysts can all be on-field coaches, you got Tim Drebno. He worked at a lot of places. He worked for the Cheaters, worked in the NFL, worked at UCLA for Chipper. So you can have multiple coaches for every position now. So if you want to have Fry be the developer and have somebody else be the recruiter, that's possible. So you can kind of divvy up job responsibilities among multiple staff members, right? So I could see that being a thing, maybe Drebno goes out on the road and recruits better. But the thing is, like, I understand that you want to, everybody's throwing around the words cast a wider net because they're reusing somebody else's opinion, but that's fine. But that's really not in line with Ohio State's MO. That's not how they recruit. They don't put out over 300 offers a year. They put out like 180. So they want to try and land the kids they offer, not offer a million kids. So that's why the strategy is what it is. I agree that, yes, there should be more offers going out, but that's not always the best solution. I'm not saying the strategy is right or wrong, but if you're trying to bring in 5 players at a position, you probably need to offer more than 30. So I'm with you there. Um, anyway, Billy says hire an O-line coach with ties to the South. Okay. I don't think it matters where they have ties to. If they're a good developer, a good recruiter, whatever, they're going to get the kids. We've done pretty well in the Midwest getting kids. We've done well in Texas getting O linemen. Um, even California once, twice. Full Blood Buckeye says O-line coach doesn't really need ties to the South. Just hire someone who knows what the hell they're doing. I would say the development of this O-line, I think we're going to see a massive improvement this coming season. You really, again, you can't judge it on the first 4 weeks, but I think against Iowa, that's going to be your O-line tester. And again, like I said before, if they can score, run the ball down Iowa's throat, that's going to make me feel so much better going into Oregon. So I think Fry is a good developer. And I think McCord actually put the O-line in some bad situations last year. I'm not saying the O-line was perfect, but Josh Simmons really started off shaky and developed into a solid left tackle, you know. Billy says, just be nice to get some of those Southern boys. We'll always be in on Ohio kids. Full-blooded Buckeye. Who was the fat guy coaching the O-line for the Cleveland Browns? His stomach moved every time he said hike, hire him. Just joking. Yeah, that guy was hefty. Billy says Michigan State has a good QB potentially. Potentially, yes, potentially. If he doesn't have any time back there, I don't know if he's going to be that good. And he doesn't have any running backs, receivers to go to. Yeah, I'm concerned for his safety, honestly, in their offense. Odysseus said it'd be hilarious if the sociopath got a 1-year suspension by the NFL. Yeah, I agree. That would be hilarious. I mean, take Ohio State as an example. Jim Tressel, Terrell Pryor, both suspended when they went into the NFL. Tressel tried to be a coach, just a lower level assistant. Terrell Pryor suspended. What kind of shit is that, man? Odysseus says, along with the entire Charger staff, they came from. Yeah, they are all from the team up north. It's true. Strength staff, Minter, the DC, and all of his coaches, Link Scale, D-line coach, LB's coach, all of them went to the Chargers. I just don't think Roger Goodell's going to do anything. I think he tried that, and he's kind of like, whatever, handle your own business, college football. It's not my responsibility. Yeah, Billy, I agree. Billy says Goodell doesn't have the balls. I agree. Full-blooded Buckeye says, I think Jonathan Smith will do a great job at Michigan State. Yeah, he might, but it's going to take some freaking time. He is in a full, multi-year rebuild. Yeah, Billy says might take 2 or 3 years. More than 2. Definitely more than 2. Troy says, if the news is true about Tegra, Fitzpatrick, and Hinsman, Fry's been doing his job as a developer. Not so much on the recruiting trail, though. Good point. I think he has been doing the development. Austin Sarabeld is only in his 2nd year, and he's already cracked the 2 deep right behind Donovan Jackson. Cotton Bowl, Billy says Cotton Bowl was a big strike against Fry. Well, they moved a lot of guys around. They benched Hinsman for one. He started all 12 games. Then they moved Matt Jones over from right guard. They just moved too many dudes around. Enoch. They brought in Enoch, for Christ's sake. Enoch is not a Big Ten offensive lineman. It was terrible. That was more about personnel than Justin Fry. Troy says last year wasn't the anomaly. We replaced 3 starters. Most teams would look shaky in that situation. Yeah, they did not expect to replace center. They knew they would replace, the tackles, but the center was a bit of a surprise for sure. I agree, Troy. Sage says the NFL punished Pryor for 5 games for a college violation. Punish Harbaugh. I believe it when I see it. I'm on board. Sign me up, man. No doubt about it. But I don't think Goodell really gives a crap, you know? So I wish he would. I wish he would do something. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think the NCAA is just going to hammer the shit out of Harbaugh, give him another, show cause penalty for it could be 100 years. The show cause doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to do much to the university though. Billy says, but Fry recruited the personnel. Yes, he recruited 4-star dudes across the board in 2023. Yep, he did. He had Luke Montgomery, he was a 4-star. Josh Padilla, 4-star. Austin Sarabeld was a 4. Oh, Miles Walker, he was a 3. Borderline 3-4. But he's definitely a developmental project. Everybody redshirted except for Montgomery. So full-blooded Buckeye says, "Hey Joe, you smell the natty this year." I do. It smells weird. It smells like metal. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I smell it. I smell it. And hey, even if we lose one game, we're not out of it. I want to brace you guys for potentially losing one game in the regular season. Doesn't mean we're out of it. It might even be better to lose a game in the regular season. That could be better. You're still going to get in. Troy says, "I'd like to see them get hammered, but just knowing we get to put an asterisk by them, it will make arguing with them fun for years to come." Exactly. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Don't forget, please hit like on the way out. Friday. Sunday night, me, Jeff, and Sean are back, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. So please join us. We are doing score predictions. It's one of the most popular episodes we do every year. We are predicting all 12 Ohio State games, score predictions. And I'm going to run through where we were good and where we were bad from 2023. I think I'd beat the crap out of Jeff and Sean, by the way. We'll go by margin of victory, or margin of score prediction, and margin of the actual final score. I think I beat them pretty good. So please join us. Come in the chat. Drop your predictions. I'll hang on to them, and we'll make fun of everybody later on. So have a good one. Appreciate you, Billy. Thank you, full-blooded Buckeye. Everybody have a good one, and hopefully we'll see you Sunday night. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.